as people take pictures and marvel at the beauty. Under their feet lies a celestial map which symbolizes the time the dam was created based on the 25,772-year axial precession of the Earth. Let's dwell into the twilight of Lake Mead and unveil new discoveries and shocking mysteries. But first, the latest projections show that Lake Mead water levels could make a huge drop this year. Lake Mead is situated in a region of the planet with a very active geographical past. All of this unique and extremely active geological activity is interesting as Lake Mead has connections to ancient seas, volcanoes, and major tectonic plate movements. Scientists are just beginning to understand how water extends into the depths of Earth's interior as oceanic crust subducts, slides, and sinks into the mantle, thus carrying water along with it. Also, a massive underground ocean was discovered containing 3 times more water than all the oceans combined. The finding shows the complexity of Earth's water cycles. It's way more than just what circulates through the atmosphere, oceans, and surface waters. Within the Hoover Dam exists a mysterious monument that few understand. This section has massive winged bronze sculptures known as Monument Plaza. But the most mysterious part of the plaza hardly gets noticed by visitors. However, a description of the plaza by the artist himself, J.W. Hansen, offered little clarity and only furthered the mystery. And what's even more perplexing is the heavy connections to ancient Egypt. Before we see how this mysterious monument correlates to ancient Egypt, let's take a quick look into the shocking link between the Grand Canyon and ancient Egypt. In 1909, the Arizona Gazette published a story claiming a Egyptian civilization was discovered in the Grand Canyon along with giant skeletons. Mainstream scientists and archaeologists insist that there's no real connection. But many of the monuments of the Grand Canyon were given spiritually Egyptian inspired names during the 19th century Powell survey, such as Osiris Tower and the Temple of Ra. Many insist that all of the caves in the Grand Canyon are off limits due to the caves containing ancient artifacts. Let's get back to this mysterious astronomical monument on the Hoover Dam. Not much is fully understood about the monument and the intentions of its creator, other than it marks the date of the dam's construction in the 26,000 year cycle of Earth's precession. But its true purpose is still not fully understood. It uses planet locations, Polaris, our North Star, and Dubin, the North Star of ancient Egypt. It can be best described as a 26,000 year clock. The carvings and markings on the floor show that Dubin was the North Star for ancient Egyptians during the era of the Great Pyramids. Why so much ancient Egyptian symbolism if there's no real connections? And what's even more perplexing is that it's very difficult to understand unless seen from way above. Scientists are racing to understand the mystery of the Colorado River's disappearing water. Scientists know reductions in soil moisture and sublimation, the process of snow turning into gas, definitely plays a part. But not much is known about the process of snow evaporating into the atmosphere instead of melting into water. A mystery looms in the upper Colorado River basin as the total winter snowpack and spring and summer runoff haven't made sense in recent years. Losses can range from 10 to 90%. For example, in spring 2021, snowpack in the westward side of the Rocky Mountains was at 80% of historic average. However, the runoff that flowed out of the basin was only about 25% of what was expected. Back in 2009, a family was enjoying the outdoors at Lake Mead, doing some snorkeling and swimming in shallow water when they noticed a huge black triangular fin about 7 to 8 feet tall. They rushed out of the water as quickly as possible and saw the creature slash fin submerge back into the water, making no bubbles or waves. And what shocked them the most was that it was so gigantic, appeared completely out of nowhere, and submerged completely into shallow water. One of the witnesses said the fin looked like a dorsal fin. The surface is just a small percentage of the Earth's systems, so it's really mind-blowing as far as what has yet to be discovered beneath our feet. And a lot of the stories and storytelling and so forth about there being completely different atmospheres, a whole different world beneath our feet, having its own sun atmosphere and its own separate water cycles and atmospheric systems. Some of this can actually be true. The legends and the stories of people falling down to Earth's inner core and having these magical experiences. This is also the same situation with our oceans. We've only discovered a small percentage of what's actually in there. So what's even more amazing is that we've only discovered a small percentage of the species that are out there. So there's a whole different world as far as species and kingdoms that we have yet to be discovered. And the same situation can be applied to inner Earth as well. And usually what happens is that when there's some type of disaster, especially a natural disaster that kind of takes society by surprise, by the blind side, usually it comes from a system that's understudied or undervalued. And two systems that are just like that is our oceans and then also inner Earth. And one of the main reasons why we have so many natural mysteries is due to the fact that we know very little about the Earth. The Earth is way more dynamic and complicated as far as cycles and systems with the atmosphere, water, and so forth. So definitely can expect a lot more breakthroughs, discoveries in regards to Earth, especially inner Earth and the inner core. There's definitely going to be some major discoveries and scientific breakthroughs in regards to being able to identify and study exactly what's going on in inner Earth. Definitely a very fascinating topic, the fact that we are very close to Deadpool within 2025, and there's still a lack of clear and concise longevity policies for the long-term sustainability of Lake Mead, Lake Powell, and the Colorado River. It seems as if all of the attention and focus has shifted solely towards water conservation. This is definitely a short-term solution to a long-term crisis.